Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Gay Polk-Payton White with Gay's PSA via Facebook Live. How are you guys doing this afternoon? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you had a good, productive Tuesday. Let's see. Any announcements before I get started? Okay. Being Mary Jane, the season premiere of Being Mary Jane. I don't know if it's the season premiere or the summer premiere, what they call it when they have in the middle of the summer. I'm not that savvy with TV terms, but Being Mary Jane is coming on tonight. I will be watching Hold My Breath because I love Being Mary Jane. I was lucky enough to be on the set this summer. My cousin Patrick Ian Polk is a writer for the show, and I was lucky enough to, be on the set, and got to meet Michael Ealy and Gabrielle Union. It was really exciting. I had a good time. So y'all make sure y'all tune in on BET and watch that tonight. The topic for today, it's a really, really good topic. And I was talking with, hold on. I was talking with one of my viewers from yesterday, and, she helped me come up with the topic for Saturday. And, and sometimes it's just like, I want to know what's important to you, because a lot of times people will come on Facebook and they'll just talk about stuff and it won't have anything to do with you. One of the things that I was thinking about when I wrote my book was what is important to other people. So, I wrote PSAs because, and the book is called This Has Been a Public Service Announcement, because public service announcements are dissemination of information for the greater good. So it's so that people will have a better understanding, a deeper understanding, so that people will understand things from a different perspective than the perspective they've always seen it for. So this is my book. It's called This Has Been a Public Service Announcement. So I'm going to be pulling PSAs from my book and giving you something to think about every day. Some free information. I always like to tell people that they will spend between $7 to $15 on my book, depending on whether or not they download it for their Nook or their Kindle, or if they order a hard copy. But either way, you're going to spend between $7 to $15 on the book. But the book can save you thousands of dollars. I would venture to say $15,000 or more in legal fees, travel expenses, clothes, dinners, child support, baby mama drama, contempt and modification, things that you're going to have to pay for if you don't follow the preventive methods that I give you in my book. I just tell you some stuff. My book is not a tell-all telling people what to do to make their lives better. It's not like Steve Harvey's book and how to get a man, how to keep a man, how long to wait before sleeping with a man. None of that. It's just, my book is about what not to do. It's like a cautionary tale. It's like what your mama said, don't do that. Baby, don't do that. That's ugly. Don't do that. That's dumb. Don't do that. You're going to break your neck. It's a cautionary tale. It's telling you what not to do. It's not telling you what to do. It's telling you what not to do. So y'all make sure that y'all pick up a copy of my book. It's titled, This Has Been a Public Service Announcement, and this is what the cover looks like. You can download it for your Nook, your Kindle, or your iPad, or you can pick up a hard copy at Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.gaypolkpayton.com, www.gaypolkpayton.com, and order your copy of this book. Hold on, y'all. I got to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, I'm back. Can you see me? Okay, good. Okay, everybody decided they want to call me, inbox me, text me as soon as I start my broadcast. But anyway, so we know who's not watching. That's what you're telling me when you call me or you text me in the middle of my broadcast. You're telling me that you're not watching. So thank you for letting me know that you're not supporting me. Anyway, but y'all feel free to please share this with your friends, your followers on Facebook. Just click on the share link and invite people to come and watch the broadcast, because I'm going to try to talk to things that are relevant to us in today's society. I will talk about anything other than politics. If you have something that you want me to talk about, all you gotta do is inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that particular subject matter. At the end of the show, I'll give shout outs to people who logged in, and I hope that you enjoy what I have to say. So, dealing with bitterness, it's just like, I would venture to say about half the relationships that start end, and they don't end in death. They don't end in marriage. Half the relationships that start end, and they end bitterly. They end It's not a happy thing. You know, some people can get along with their ex-husband or their ex-wife, and they're like best friends, and they just get along. You know, they realize that even though they really like each other, they weren't meant to be married, or they weren't meant to be in a relationship together, and they can still be friends. But most of the time, you don't like your baby daddy. Most of the time, you do not like your baby mama, and they get on your nerves, because if you love them so much, you probably would have stayed with them. You would have made it work for the kids, but you couldn't make it work because they would get on your nerves. They make you sick. So when the relationship ends, somebody's gonna be bitter. Everybody, you know, it's like it can be an amicable divorce, but everybody doesn't want a divorce. You know, it's like, you know, you can say, you know, well, yeah, I want a divorce too, but you know, that's not how it always goes. So, but what you have to understand is, you know, one of the things that's the best thing to me and to so many people, one of the best things about being in a relationship is being wanted by that other person. When somebody else wants you to the exclusion of every other person on the planet, you know, there's no feeling in the world like that. So, you know, why would you want somebody who don't want you? I mean, it's like bitterness and holding on to bitterness, harboring bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Most of the people you don't like don't know that you don't like them. And the people who do know that you don't like them don't care. So why would you waste your energy and your time being angry with somebody who ain't thinking about you? They ain't thinking about you. If they were thinking about you, then the relationship would still be together. You wouldn't have nothing to be bitter about. So why are you wasting your life and your energy and your strength and your blood pressure being bitter and upset about something that is in your past and that you need to let go of? You have to learn how to let go. I mean, it's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's just that you have to love yourself more than you love that relationship. You have to love yourself more than you love that person who don't want you no more. You got to let that go. And especially if they got somebody else, they ain't thinking about you. I mean, you gotta move on. Like I was talking about that in one of my blogs on my YouTube page. You know, I was talking about the song "How Will I Know" by Whitney Houston, and I mean, I love that song. It gives very, very good relationship advice. You know, she's talking to Aretha Franklin. I'm asking you because you know about these things. How will I know if he's thinking of me? You know, if you don't know whether or not he's thinking about you, then he ain't thinking about you. I mean, that's just not rocket science. It's not hard, but you make it harder than it is. You don't have to make it this hard. You have to just open your eyes, open your heart, and realize this person ain't thinking about me. I need to move on with my life because I am wasting precious sands in my hourglass worrying about something that I can't control. I remember, and it was so sad. I looked on my Facebook page. You know how they give you the memories of what you posted 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago. Well, they were showing me what I posted, and I shared a video of a lady who was trying to run behind her husband, and he's in the car with his mistress, and she's trying to catch up with them, and they're trying to lose her in traffic, and she's running behind them, and then she ends up running into another car, and she dies instantly. So she spent her last days chasing after somebody who wasn't thinking about her. Because this is what I told my husband when I first met him. I said, if you don't want me to the exclusion of every woman on the planet, then you don't want me the way I need to be wanted, and you need to get on out my face. You don't think you deserve to be wanted like that? You deserve to be wanted that way. Everybody deserves, if you are a good person with a pure heart, you deserve to be wanted by somebody to the exclusion of every other person on the planet. And if the person that you're chasing behind don't want you like that, move on. There's somebody who's going to be good to you. There's somebody who's going to want you. There's somebody who's going to take care of every need that you could possibly fathom in your mind. You don't have to put up with that. And if you have ended a relationship with your child's father or your child's mother, you have to move on from that. If the relationship is over, then you have to let your love for your children override your hatred for that person. You can't let your children suffer because of your feelings. We talked about this the other day on Saturday on my show. We talked about how you cannot allow your feelings to get in the way of you taking care of the needs of your children. The needs of your children override everything. You should know that, because your parents don't buy you presents anymore once you have children, because your children are the most important things to them, and they should be the most important things to you. They should come before your dating life. They should come before your ego. They should come before your pride. They should come before your feelings. You cannot allow your feelings to affect your relationship with your children. And if you had a bad relationship, a bad breakup, if you got kids, you don't have the luxury of laying in your bed, crying and carrying on, and you ain't fixing them kids no cereal, ain't taking them kids to football practice and soccer practice and, dance recitals, because you laying in the bed crying over somebody who ain't thinking about you. You can't do that to your kids, because, it's just like, you have to be preventive. You have to make sure that you're ready, and that person is ready to be a parent with you when you co-parent with someone. And once you have sex in a way that's reckless enough to create a life, you have put yourself in a position to co-parent with somebody. So the best practice is to not sleep with somebody unless you're willing to co-parent with them, because every time you have sex, you take the chance of co-parenting with somebody. You take the chance of somebody who is the love of your life becoming your baby daddy or your baby mama. When I wrote my book, I ended up changing the title of my book I changed it to "This Has Been a Public Service Announcement." But when I first started thinking about my book, the title of my book was going to be "What to Do When Your Mate Becomes Your Baby Daddy or Your Baby Mama." It's a completely different dynamic. That person changes in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. It's just like your husband is laying on the floor playing with the kids, like playing out in the yard with them doing that, and it's just like, once he becomes your baby daddy, you can't even get him to come pick the kids up for his weekend visitation 4 days out the month. Your baby mama, when she's your wife, she's cooking meals. She's doing everything. She makes sure the kids' clothes are ironed and clean, and you can eat off the floor because she keep the house so clean. But then when she becomes your baby mama, the house is raggedy. Kids' clothes dirty, wearing the same thing 3-4 days in a row. She ain't cooking for them. All they know is Fruit Loops. They don't get to eat no real meal. They're eating Cheerio Fruit Loops for dinner. It's a different dynamic when your wife goes from being your wife to being your baby's mama. And you're not going to be satisfied with the things that she's doing. You're not going to be satisfied with the things that he's doing, because the things, even if he is being a good father, even if he's spending time with his kids, even if she's being a good mother, even if she's spending time with her kids, she's not giving you what she used to give to you. He's not giving you what he used to give to you. So you're salty about that, and your children are suffering because you mad. Because you mad because the relationship didn't work out. But you have to be preventive. That's why I say, if you buy this book for $15, it will save you up to $15,000 in expenses, legal fees, flights, child support, because you will learn how to pay attention to signs so that you will know if somebody is right for you before you sleep with them, before you create a life with them, before you marry them, before you acquire a mortgage with them. You will do things to make sure that you won't end up dealing with all of these expenses on the back end, because you're going to do your homework on the front end. This is what the book teaches you to do. It's not telling you what to do. It's telling you what not to do. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ignore the signs. If you ask him questions and he's not answering your questions, there's a reason for that. There's a reason that he don't want you to know the answers to those questions. Because if he answers those questions for you, you're probably going to run out the room and run out of his life like your hair on fire. And you can keep on ignoring the elephant in the room and pretending like ain't nothing wrong. He ain't never really told me where he go every day. I ain't never been to his job. I don't know how he make money. You keep ignoring that elephant in the room till the police bust in your house and you realize he a drug dealer. When that elephant fall on your foot, when that elephant in the room, you tiptoeing around that elephant all this time, and then all of a sudden that elephant fall on your foot and you realize how much that elephant weighs when it crushes your toes. You can't play these kinds of games, especially if you're dating and you're single and you got children. You can't play those kind of games. It's not safe to play those games whether you're single or whether you're not single. But if you hope to find a relationship that is worth your time, if you hope to find something that will give you peace rather than give you chaos in your life, you have to let go of the bitterness and the hatred from your past relationship. I'm going to tell you, when I was dating, I was single for 9 years. And my do not answer list in my phone is as long as my leg, and I'm almost 6 feet tall, and my legs are half my height. My legs are 3.5 feet long. So, but my do not answer list in my phone is longer than my leg. So, but while I was single, one of the warning signs that I got when I met a man, if a man came to dinner with me and he talking about his ex and how raggedy his ex was and what she did and why she the reason they broke up, and he don't ever take accountability for what he did to create the problems in the relationship, that is a warning sign. He going to the do not answer list. It wasn't going down like that. Like, what you do? What did you do? It's like when my relationships end, I write in my journal. That's how I ended up writing a book. I write in my journal, and I try to figure out what I did to create the problem, the situation. What environment did I create that made it ripe for this relationship not to survive? And I have to realize what I did. You have to realize what you did. Start with the person in the mirror before you start shifting blame to everybody else. You blaming your wife's best friend for breaking y'all up. If y'all's communication was here, then her best friend wouldn't have been able to do nothing to y'all. You know, you talking about his boys taking him to the strip club, and that's why y'all broke up, because he ended up falling in love with a stripper. No, you should have been his stripper at the house, and then he wouldn't have went to no strip club. You have to find your own fault, because even if you didn't do anything other than enable the behavior that broke your heart, you may have enabled that person to treat you that way. You may have ignored the signs when they were being rude to you in the beginning. You may have ignored the fact that he don't even talk to his mama. You know, if a man won't return his mama's calls, he ain't gonna return your calls. He ain't gonna treat you like he's supposed to. If a man cannot respect the woman who gave him life, these are the 3 things that you can't disrespect your mama. You can't disrespect your children, and you can't disrespect God and expect to get any of my attention. Because if you cannot respect God, who gave you, who created you, who made your life possible, then you can't respect me the way, you got to love me the way Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. If you don't know how Christ loved the church, then how you going to know how to love me? You ain't going to know. Ain't no way you going to know. If you don't love your mama, the person who came the closest to death, bringing you into this world, then how you gonna know how to love me? You don't know me from a can of paint. Now, you just met me. How you gonna love me if you can't call your mom back? What makes me think that you gonna call me back, text me back, answer the phone when I'm on the side of the road with a flat tire? You won't even answer your mama call. Are you delusional? Don't be delusional. If people aren't respecting the people that are already in their lives who love them and respect them, don't think they're going to give you any more consideration. And then if they don't love their children, the lives that they created, it's just like they procreated. They procreated, and they were grown up enough to make the decision to have sex in a manner that risked creating a life. And if they're grown enough to do that, then they're grown enough to accept the responsibility of taking care of those children. If they're not going to do that for their children, they're not going to respect their relationship with God, their relationship with their mama, their relationship with their children, then you can forget about them ever respecting a relationship with you. You think it's a game. It's not. You think because your man dissing his kids for you, you think that makes him a prize. No, honey. That makes him something. You need to take him back. You need to leave him on the shelf, because if he would diss his kids for you, he would diss you for that next woman that's giving him a little bit more attention than you are. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, and do not encourage that kind of behavior. You should encourage your man to be there for the lives he created. Let me see. What else? But you'll never get there. You'll never get to any of these levels if you're harboring bitterness. If you are continuously mad with other people because your relationship didn't work out. You mad with the pastor because y'all went in for marital counseling and the pastor took your wife's side over yours. You still mad with him. That was 20 years ago. You still mad. Why? Why you blaming the pastor because you weren't doing what you were supposed to? It's just like I was telling people about yesterday, about people who are mad with me saying that I bash men in my book. I don't bash men in my book. I don't bash women in my book. You bash yourself with your substandard behavior. How about, instead of getting mad with me, you make the environment around you a little bit more conducive to the needs of other people, and then you want to get mad with me and nobody else, because you're going to be doing what you're supposed to do, and you're going to get what you need. You got to do what you're supposed to do to get what you need. If you're not doing what you need to do, then why should anybody won't care about what you want? It don't make no sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me how people can think that you can treat people however you want to, and then you're going to still be able to get what you need from them. That's not reasonable. That's not the behavior of somebody who has a sound mind, who has a reasonable mind. You have to be reasonable If you want people to be there for you, you got to be there for people. And you cannot harbor bad feelings from your childhood, from your daddy didn't spend enough time with you when you was little, so you hate men. Your mama didn't spend enough time with you when you was little, so you hate women. You can't bring that stuff into your life. You got to heal those wounds. You got to let your grief be real so that you can deal with your grief. You can't ignore grief, because a lot of people are like, oh, no, I'm all right. No, you got to let yourself deal with grief. Accept your grief, acknowledge your grief, deal with your grief. That's the only way you will be able to move on and heal. You can't heal a gunshot wound that you don't treat. If you just say, oh, it'll be all right, I'm all right, and try to walk, you can't walk off no gunshot wound. You're going to have to acknowledge that gunshot wound is there. You're going to have to treat that gunshot wound. You're going to have to nurture that gunshot wound. You have to heal it. And that's the only way it's going to heal, is if you deal with it. So you got to deal with your grief in the same way. People think that it's okay to go to the doctor when you have a physical issue, when you have cold. You want to go to the doctor and you like, oh, I think I got a sinus infection. Because if you go, think about it. You have cold symptoms. And you're just like sneezing, and you take you some NyQuil. And you're going to go to sleep that night. You're going to feel better and go to sleep that night. But then the next day, you're going to have the same symptoms. Why? Because you have not gotten to the source of what's causing that. You haven't gotten to the virus. You need an antibiotic shot. You need an antibiotic. You need some amoxicillin. You need a Z-Pack. You need something that's going to get to the source of what is causing you those problems. One of my friends and mentors in marriage and life is Treva Donnell in Louisville, Kentucky. Treva tells me you got to trace the cable. You got to figure out what is the origin, what is the source of that pain. Why are you treating women like this? Why are you treating men like this? What happened to you previously that makes you act this way toward other people? Who hurt your feelings? Was it your mama? Was it your Sunday school teacher? Are you still mad with your third grade teacher because she called you dumb? Is that still, you still holding on to that? Is that why you cannot form effective relationships with people? You need to trace the cable. You need to find the source, and you need to treat it with the proper antibiotic, which is healing, purging, dealing with those feelings. You can't ignore those feelings. You cannot put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound and walk it off. You got to acknowledge that it is what it is. It's a gunshot wound. It's not a scratch. And you got to nurture it. You got to make sure that it gets the proper healing, gets the proper medication. It might still be a bullet in there. And you might have to have surgery to get that bullet out of there. Sometimes, you ever notice that sometimes, in order for somebody to, if they have a broken bone, and they have to, sometimes a surgeon will have to like pop it back into place. They have to break it in order to reset it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to break yourself all the way down, reset yourself so that you can be what you need to be to the people who are currently in your life and the people that you hope to have in your life in the future. I mean, that's the bottom line. Having bad feelings, harboring bad feelings, anger, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The only person that's going to be hurt by that is you, because most of the people you don't like don't know you don't like them, and the rest of them do not care. I mean, that's real. Bottom line, in the discussion. Okay, I'm going to give some shout-outs, then I'm going to go. Because I made the mistake today of, instead of waiting until after I got through doing my show to eat, I ate before, so I'm sleeping. Hey, Camerico. Hey, Amy, Cynthia, Andre, Patrick, Charles, Tangela, Rosemary, Joshua, Erica, Lauren, Shira. Hey, Miss Shira, how you doing? Hey, Vicky, LaTanya, Tanya, Cookie, Felice, Carstel, Tashia. Hey, Tashia. Y'all make sure that y'all share this video. Just click the share button down in the corner, and you can share this video on your page so you can, help some people deal with their healing issues, because a lot of people are harboring bad feelings. It's just like, okay, like this is one of the things when I was telling y'all yesterday that I don't do politics. One of the reasons that I don't do politics is because people will get you involved in a political issue, and it might be something that a politician did to them 20 years ago. And they want to get you involved. They want you to hate this person because something they did to them 20 years ago. You ain't got no dog in that hunt. You don't know nothing about what happened 20 years ago. You might not even been born. You might have been in junior high 20 years ago when they had their little beef. And they want to pull you into it. And you want to get involved in that. Don't get involved in that, because you have to help them heal. And the only way they're going to heal, because if they got somebody to help them and to validate that anger and validate that pain by perpetuating it into the present and perpetuating it into the future, then that's never going to heal. It's never going to get any better. So don't be a part of that. Just tell people, I'm not attending your pity party. I got plans that night. I'm not coming to your pity party. You have to help your people heal. Sometimes you have to listen to people when they need to talk to you, when they need to have someone to understand what they're going through. And that's all well and good, but you can't be a party to helping people hold on to bitterness and resentment and things that aren't healthy for them. If you love somebody, you want them to let go of bitterness. You want them to be healthy. You want them to be healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally. And the only way they can be that way is if they let go of resentment, anger, and past hurts. Hey, Carlisa. Hey, Cookie. Oh, okay. Hey, Cookie. Cookie shared the video. Thank you for sharing the video, Cookie. Hey, Janelle. Linda said, I know you're right. Thank you for sharing the video, Kamiko. Cheryl says, I think that people can't let go of the bitterness when a relationship is over because of the way the relationship ends, especially if there was infidelity. And the thing about it, this is what you got to realize about infidelity. If somebody cheated on you, then that's their character flaw, not yours. So that means that they're going to have to deal with that issue. You have to let that go, because that person, whatever is in them that made them cheat on you, is the same thing that's going to make them cheat on the person they cheated on you with. Same script, different cast. I mean, you just got to realize that that person is going to take that into their next relationship. You got to bring healing into your next relationship. You have to say, that person cheated on me, but that was not my fault. It's not my fault that that person cheated on me. It was something inside of them that made them cheat on me. It was not something inside of me. So me harboring bitterness about that person cheating on me, how is that going to heal me? How is that going to make me into a better person? How is that going to make me ready for the person that God's keeping for me? Let it go. Move on. Life is short. I mean, it's really, really short. It turns on a dime. Your plane can fall out the sky. Your car can get hit by a Mack truck. Your heart can stop on the treadmill. You don't ever know what's going to happen the next day. So be happy. Don't be miserable because of other people. If somebody did something to you to hurt you, move on with your life. Don't let that keep you bound. If you loose it on earth, God will loose it in heaven, and he will give you the peace that you need to keep going with your life. Don't hold on to that infidelity, whether they cheat on you, ran over your dog, whether they didn't take care of their kids, whatever they did when the relationship ended and the way the relationship ended. It don't matter whether the relationship ended. The relationship is over. Move on with your life. It's something out there better. Honey, look, you ever heard that song, Lord, I'm available to you? One of my favorite parts of that song is when the singer says, I empty out my cup so that you can fill me up. God can't fill you with what he has for you if you holding on and you got stuff packed down in your spirit from stuff that other people did to you. That ain't got nothing to do with that new person in your life. Just because that last person cheated on you don't mean that next person gonna cheat on you. You can't make that about you. That's their character flaw, not yours. It becomes your character flaw when you hold on to it. You hold on to resentment. You hate that person, and that person have moved on with their lives, and they moved on to their next victim. You can't let them move on to their next victim. Don't continue to be their victim. Move on with your life. Hey, Dick. Hey, Douglas, Carlos, Shauna, Tammy, Ethel. Tashia said it is so liberating when you free yourself from the bitterness. It is so liberating. I mean, and it's just like a peace comes over you. I remember I had a situation where back in 2012, 13, something like that, I was dating this guy. I was crazy about him. And, it's like I didn't realize that, he didn't want what I wanted. It was like I was, enjoying the relationship and thinking that we were moving to another level, and he was just enjoying being single and enjoying my company at the same time. I didn't realize that until he told me that he was starting to feel constrained by the relationship and he wanted to be free to date other people. So I told him, you are free to date other people, just not while you're dating me. I had to free myself of that relationship, and I had to cut it off. I had to stop it right there. because otherwise I was going to get deeper involved as he continued to enjoy being single while letting me come along for the ride. So you have to know when somebody don't want what you want, and you got to let it go. You got to nip it in the bud. But even though the relationship ended in 2013, my feelings didn't end in 2013. I carried that around for over a year. I was hurt. I was devastated. And my friend that I just told you about, that told my friend Treva Donnell, that told me that you got to learn how to trace the cable, she was talking to me, and that was my first time ever meeting her. I met her for the first time in Miami, Florida in June 2014. That's when I met Treva. And she told me, she said, I know why you're having such a hard time getting over that man gay. And I'm looking at her like, lady, you don't know me like that. Can you get out of my business? You don't know me like that. I'm just looking at her like, ma'am, because I didn't even know her name at the time. And she's gay. I know why you're having such a hard time getting over this man. I was like, what? She said, because she said, as a profession, she said, you're a lawyer and a judge. She said, and so you are used to being able to look at people and listen to their stories and tell whether or not somebody is trying to lead you down a rabbit hole or whether or not they're being candid with you. She said, but you weren't able to tell that this man was trying to lead you down a rabbit hole and he wasn't being honest with you. She said, and that's why you don't see how he did that. When nobody else can do that to you, you don't know how he did it. How did he do it? And she said, and once you figure that out, once you accept that and realize that you allowed yourself to be vulnerable and that's how he did that, and you move on and you let that go, then you'll have peace in your life. When I tell you that I felt like somebody had lifted a heavy weight off my chest, off my heart, off my spirit, I'm telling you, I felt like an escaped convict, because I had been in prison, the prison of my mind and the prison of my heart, for over a year. But when she broke that all the way down to me like that and told me that the reason that I could not get past that was because of the fact that I was holding on to it, not because he was holding on to it. He wasn't doing nothing to me. He wasn't thinking about me. I was holding on to it. I was doing it to myself. And when I realized why I was doing it to myself, I was able to let that go. And I promise you, I emptied out my cup. And that was in June. That was at the first weekend in June when I met her. June, July, August, September 10th, I met my husband. I emptied out my cup so that he could fill me up. So you got to make room for the right person to come into your life by letting the bitterness from your past stop holding you back and stop you from being who you need to be, to the person who's going to take care of you and nurture your heart. That's real talk right there. Now that was me being completely transparent and letting you know that I know from personal experience that you have to let it go and move on with your life. Hey, baby. Speak of the devil, that's my husband. Hey, baby. Baby, I want some ice cream. I'm hot. I want some ice cream and then I want to go to sleep. Okay, so that's how I whine. That's how I whine to my husband. Y'all don't judge me, because when I want something, I just whine. I be like, baby, I pout. Yeah, he thinks it's cute. I don't know why, because that ain't cute. When people do it at me, I get mad as all get. I don't whine at me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't you cry, because they ain't gonna do nothing but make me mad. But then when I do it to him, he thinks it's cute. So whatever. Hey, Achilles. Hey, Linda. Linda said, girl, you preaching now. Hey, Beverly. Tashia said, move on. Kamirka said, you better speak the truth. Hey, Lolita. Felicia said, this is real. Felicia said, this is real talk. Y'all share this. Because somebody going to be blessed by this. Somebody going to be helped by this. Somebody who is holding on to something that they can't let go of is going to be blessed by this message. And I want y'all to not, don't hold on to it. Share the wealth. Y'all be sharing people fighting in the parking lot of the Waffle House. So y'all need to share some positivity from time to time. Shira said, agreed. Hey, D. Linda said, there it is right there. Hey, Angela. Hey, Vashon. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Andre. Gloria, I am so excited about Vegas. I can't wait to meet you. Hey, Annette. Hey, Taronda. Tashia said, thank you. And Gloria said, let me see your credit report. See what I'm saying? You have to know some things on Gloria, you better tell them. You need to know some things on the front end. You need to find out some things about people on the front end. Otherwise, you're going to get broadsided on the back end. You're going to be like, oh, I'm in love. Oh, ain't nobody never made me feel like that. Oh, he looking so deep in my eyes. Girl, you better you better check, you better trace the cable. You better run a background check. You better make sure that he ain't got no outstanding warrant. I'm telling you, one of the PSAs in my book, one of the general PSAs, no, it's a relationship PSA. So it's in like the second chapter of the book. And it talks about a doctrine in the law called the attractive nuisance doctrine. And the thing about an attractive nuisance is you don't know that the attraction is a nuisance until it's too late, until it is destroying you. So what the law does with it is, if you have something on your property that is inherently dangerous, like a swimming pool that's not gated off, or some lumber that children can climb up on, or a sand pit that children can get in and hurt themselves in and whatever. And you got this on your property and it's inherently dangerous. If somebody comes on your property and they're damaged by that thing on your property that you did not protect from outsiders, even though they're trespassing on your property, if they could not appreciate the danger of that, when they trespassed on your property, then you are per se liable for any damages that resulted because of that. But this is the thing about an attractive nuisance. You don't know that the attraction is a nuisance until it is destroying you. You see this man come in the club, his shoulder so broad, he got to turn to the side and walk through the bar because his shoulder so broad. He just big corn fed. You know how I feel about the corn fed. My husband corn fed. I love corn fed. But, it's just like, but what you don't know about him is that he got 2 outstanding warrants for domestic violence. You don't know that, the last 5 women he dated, he ran up their credit and then left them, in debt and broke, after he took all their money. Or you don't know that he may have left 2 dead bodies in the last town that he lived in, 2 different women. You just don't know. Men, you see this woman and she got this $500 Peruvian silky weave hanging down her back, banging body, red bottom shoes. But what you don't know is that she's hiding her car from the repo man. Her children, she got 3 of them, and they live with her mama because she can't get her life together enough to take care of them. You don't see that. You see the attraction, but you don't see the nuisance behind the attraction until it is destroying you. And that is why you have to apply another principle in my book that I talked about in my general PSAs about giving people fixture access to your structure. Like you have appliances and you have fixtures. That's one of the things we learned in property law. An appliance is something that you can just unplug and sit outside. A fixture is something that when you remove it, it's going to leave a hole, like a tub, a toilet, a sink. Those kinds of things leave a hole when you remove it. And those are fixtures. And when you giving people who should only be appliances in your life, you should be able to unplug them and sit them outside when they start acting a fool. You've given them fixture access to your structure, and then they leave a hole, a gaping hole in you when they are removed from your life because you don't have nothing to put in its place. So you have to be careful. You have to apply these kinds of principles to your life, to your dating relationships, to your human relationships, so that you will know what you're getting into on the front end, so that you won't have to deal with the ramifications of it on the back end. Okay, let me get some more shout outs. Hey, Linda. Hey, Lily. Tashia said, thanks for dinner. Gloria said, check please, warning sign if he was accountable. He has to be accountable. Everybody has to be accountable for what they did to create the drama in the relationship. If he wasn't accountable, he can't be accountable now. If he wasn't accountable then, Gloria said, if he wasn't accountable then, he's not going to be accountable to you now. And you got to realize that, because, acceptance, you got to accept and you got to be accountable, and you got to, in order to fix your behavior, you can't fix nothing that you won't admit that is wrong. That's why I was the public defender for a drug court for 9 years. And one of the first things in recovery is admitting. Admitting that you have a problem is the first step to recovery from anything. Whether you're recovering from lying, cheating, drugs, drinking, a bad relationship, a bad weave, whatever you're trying to recover from, you got to admit that it's bad before you can recover from it. You can't recover from nothing unless you admit that it's bad for you. Hey, Ricardo. Tashia said, I did, but it took some time for me to see where I was failing in the relationship. Kamira said, yes. Hey, Albany. Gloria said, red flags are red for a reason. It definitely doesn't say love. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Marquita. Hey, Jeannie. Jeannie said, yes. Hey, Jay. Angela. Tashia said, throw those crutches down and walk it out. Hey, Stephanie. Angela says she's struggling with this one. And a lot of people struggle with it. Angela, I really hope you listened to my story that I told you about how I was able to heal from a past relationship before I could move on and have what God was keeping for me. God was keeping something great for me. He was keeping a great love for me, but I couldn't see it and I couldn't get to it because I was too busy looking back. You can't see what's ahead of you if you consistently looking back. I remember in that movie, y'all remember that movie Cannonball Run with Burt Reynolds? The man was getting ready to do a race, and he snatched down the rearview mirror. He said, what's behind you is not important. Hey, Rosalind. Gloria said, this is true. You have to get to the root of the problem. Hey, Kika, Andrea, Cassandra, Carolyn. Rosalind said, hey, Rosalind. Hey, Andre. Y'all make sure that you share this. Thank you for sharing the video, Angela. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Frankie. It was good seeing you at church Sunday. Vicky. Hey, Betty. Thank you for sharing the video, y'all. Cookie said, do not let bitterness block your blessings. And that is so, so true. Carolyn said, don't take old problems into new relationships thinking all men and women are alike. And that is so true. Hey, Monique. Gloria said, I know, Carolyn. Hey, Tony. Thank you for sharing the video, Frankie. Hey, Kim, Kimberly, Felicia, Lena, Wilhelmina. Hey, Kevin, my wonder twin. Catherine Jackson, how you doing? Hey, Roger. Wilhelmina said, truth. Kimberly said, I'm sharing. Hey, Daniel. Cookie said, somebody will sleep well tonight. Just, understanding is the beginning of everything. Ain't nothing like understanding. Understanding gives you peace, and peace is priceless. You can't put a price tag on peace. I was interviewed by Signature Magazine. I think it was in April of last year, and they were interviewing me, and they were asking me. I was their Q&A for the month, and they were asking me questions, and they said, "What is your most valuable possession?" My answer was one word: peace. Peace is my most valuable possession. You can't put a price tag on it. I'm not going to let nobody disrupt that. Definitely not somebody who's in my past and who ain't got no place in my life and don't contribute anything other than drama. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Sheila. Sheila said, speak, my sister gay. Hey, Scott. Tashia said, my sweet Aunt Jennifer is watching. Hey, Jennifer. How you doing? Thank y'all so much for sharing the video on your pages. Hey, Darius, Leisha, Twyla, Claudette. Thank you, Andrea, for sharing the video. Hey, Tammy, Twyla, hey. Hey, Terry Moore. How you doing, Terry? I was so sorry to hear about your mom. I know that's hard, but I'm praying for you, sis. Gloria said, appliances versus fixtures. That's awesome. Girl, I'm telling you, that's one of the first things I learned in law school, because property law was one of the first classes we took. And that was one of the first things I learned. Honey, you got to learn who you going to give appliance access and who you going to give fixture access to your structure. Hey, Joseph. Hey, Teresa. Fixtures versus appliances. Lock that in. That's good stuff. Hey, Charlene. Yes, Terry, a bad weave. A weave you don't need. Girl, you think about all the money you spend on weave, clothes, plane tickets, because he lives somewhere else, gas money, maintenance on your car, babysitters for your kids, getting your nails done, paying for the contempt and modification defense that you're gonna have to have when your ex-husband find out he a drug dealer and he take you back to court saying you got your kids around a drug dealer, and then child support, child custody, all of these things that you're gonna have to end up spending money on. When if you spend between $7 and $15 on this book, you will learn how to avoid those pitfalls that'll have you spending thousands of dollars on foolishness. Okay. That's my last plug of the book today, I promise. Wilhelmina said, to the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Hey, George. Hey, Michaela. Thank you, Wilhelmina, for sharing the post. Twyla said, my pastor just had a sermon about how God will snatch out some mess. You make sure you run and don't look back. Teresa said, peace and peace of mind. Now, you can't put a price tag on that. Angela said, you're right. Me and my mom relationship wasn't the best, so I have to let that go, and I'm really struggling with it, and she's deceased. You do. You really have to let it go, Angela, because, me and my daddy, You know, I'm so much like my dad, and I had to get peace with that. I think one of the reasons me and my dad fussed so much was because I'm so much like him. I am little buddy, left and right, honey. Ooh, he is my defense mechanism. He is the porcupine in me. When somebody roll up on me the wrong way, it's like I ain't gonna start nothing, but if don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Because if you roll up on me the wrong way, that's when my porcupine, I ain't gonna start no fight. But if you roll up on me, then I'm going to deal with it. You may not like the way I deal with it because one of them porcupine quills get stuck in you. You know, you might die from the porcupine quill getting stuck in you. You ever heard about animals? Animals die. When sometimes they roll up on that porcupine the wrong way, you want them quills stuck in them, you're going to die. Just like when you bite a jawbreaker. You remember yesterday's lesson? Bite a jawbreaker, she going to tear your mouth out. Strong women are jawbreakers. Tear your mouth out. Sheila, my lashes look extra cute. My eyelashes, girl, I use like 2 or 3 different types of mascara just to make them look long because I don't have really long eyelashes. I put some on for the wedding. That was my first time ever wearing eyelashes, was at the wedding, and everybody was asking me, did I cry at my wedding? I told them I was scared to cry because if I would have cried, then one of my eyelashes would have fell off and would look like a caterpillar was crawling across my face, and my husband might not have said I do. So no, I didn't cry at the wedding. I held it together. But now I just, you know, try to get me some good mascara. They got some mascara over at JCPenney called Better Than Sex. It's some good eyelash stuff, but I use all kinds of stuff. L'Oreal, Maybelline, Revlon, whichever one say that's gonna make my lashes look the longest, that's what I buy. Okay, to go and get the book, you go to Amazon.com, put in Gay Polk-Payton, and it'll come up. My music will come up and my book will come up if you put in my name, Gay Polk-Payton. Or you can go to my website, www.gaypolkpayton.com, and you can click on the link and get it there. You can inbox me and I'll send you a link to purchase the book from Teardrops Publishing. Or if you email me, I'll send you a signed copy, and you can get it that way, and I'll mail you a copy. All you have to do is pay for shipping. Let's see. Thank you for sharing the video, Sheila. Hey, Janet. All right, y'all. Hey, Chris. Okay, y'all, so I'm about to go because I talked longer than I intended to talk today because I said I wasn't going to talk as long as I did yesterday. I ended up talking. I think I talked longer than I did yesterday. But tomorrow's topic, I don't know what tomorrow's topic is, but I got a lot of inbox messages today, and a lot of people gave me different topics. So we're going to have all kinds of things that we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to be talking about, you know, like people who don't want to be a parent until somebody else starts being a parent to the child. We're going to talk about so many different issues, y'all. We're going to talk about single parenting some more, and because school is getting ready to start. And we're going to talk about how you don't need to be going and spend $150 on some shoes for your kids, but you won't spend $10 on school supplies. We're going to talk about everything. I mean, it's just like we're going to go in on Gays PSA on Facebook Live, and anything you want me to talk about other than politics, just inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to put your discussion on my list of things to talk about. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I love you too. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.